you got to be careful with what you share with the world. And I think a lot of people want, like we've even talked about it, like authenticity is so important.
Mm.
Um, Authenticity is very important, but keeping like some privacy and solitude is also important too, right? You
Yeah,
don't have
agreed.
to share everything with the world, because once you do share it with these platforms, it gives you're opening up the idea and saying it's okay for people to have an opinion on this,
Mm.
which is weird because my thing is what I see now is people have such a harsh opinion
Mm.
that they wouldn't have in person,
Mm.
right? Like all of a sudden now you have so much like balls and you have all this talk, or or some people are just super upset with themselves or something that's going on in their life or what they can do or cannot do, that they have to they project that on somebody else.
Mm.
But we, as the owner of whatever that material or picture or video, whatever we post, we have to understand that like we know this now, and once you hit post, you're saying it's okay for you to have an opinion on what I've just shared because I've shared it with
Essentially, yeah.
you, right? So not to say like, this person shouldn't have given you credit,
Yeah.
right? I think that's a little bit different.
Mm.
But yeah, I think we just got to be really careful with what we share online now.
Yeah.
Really, really careful. You being authentic is one thing. Being true to yourself is one thing. When you're on the camera, when you're going to post something or whatever, I think you should be true and honest as much as you can. And if you can't do that, or if there's something that you can't, you can't do that with, then maybe you just don't share it. Or if there's something that you don't want people to have a certain opinion or have a say in, then you don't do it.
Don't do it.
Or you just turn off the comments then.
Yeah.
There's a way
yeah.
to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to be okay with it. I was actually really hurt by a friend once when I had a podcast years ago.
Yeah.
And I wanted that person to come on the podcast, and he said something that really hurt. And he's just like, yo, I'm not going to come on. I'm not like you. I don't need to put all my stuff out on the internet. I don't need to like have my life on the internet.
It's like a sideways
yeah.
slap.
Yeah. And I was like, in my mind, it's just like so wild to think like I share a lot on the internet.
Yeah.
Ain't all my stuff on the internet.
Yeah. But he has that perception.
He has that perception, right?
You know what? I know that you're
protect
hurt,
a
but
lot.
I maybe he didn't say it in the nicest way, but
Yeah.
he has all right to like say that,
Yeah.
I think you share a lot and I don't really want to share as much.
Yeah, which is
Sounds
understandable.
same exact thing, just said different.
Yes, 100%,
Right?
100%. It's just like, yo, you put your whole life, and I'm like, no, man, like there's so much I don't share.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I share good, I share bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's so much like,
Yeah.
no, it's private moments, bro.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you don't put it all out there, which I agree with.
Yeah.
You know?
I know, like, again, I said, as you said, you were hurt by it, but I think we have to also take in consideration that when people say things, not everybody's a great communicator.
Especially in the moment.
In the moment.
I can't even think of how many times like I say something on the podcast and I'm just like, man, I could have said that so much better this way. Yeah.
Even myself, like sometimes I take a long time to say something because I think about it a lot.
Yeah.
And it still probably comes out right, or maybe it's not as assertive because I've thought of this idea or what I want to say so much that like I've almost watered it down. But I'd prefer to say that, do that, and then say something that like I'm completely like, oh, that was so not what I wanted to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, people might question and say, well, that's not authentic. But again, I think that's very different. Watering something down and trying to say it right, and if it comes out maybe not the way that you wanted to, is very different from me saying, I don't know, just something that it's just completely bullshit, and you just know like that's not where I'm at. Like if I just came out and was like, yeah, I love all transgender people, they're the greatest people. That's not, that's bullshit. Like that I'm trying to get onto the woke side and be liked. And again, it's not that I have anything against them, but that if I came on here and said that,
Yeah.
you would know that it's bullshit.
Yeah.
If you, I think if you are in a point or in a position where you're getting a lot of views on anything or getting a lot of eyes on anything and there are no bad comments, I think that you're fake.
Yeah.
To a degree, I think that you're fake because at some point you have to upset people.
Yes.
There's no way that everything you say everyone likes and agrees with. If you're being authentic, you will and must and have to upset people. That's kind of, I think, an indication that you're doing the right thing in a way.
Agreed.
It might sound
1000%.
fucked up, but yeah, I think that if you upset people, it's a way of you saying, well, at least I'm saying how I feel.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And I think the reel I just did, combating the dude about the 50-50, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. If your man don't have money, you whack.
Yeah.
If you go to, have you seen his content before?
I haven't.
Chris GQ Perry or something like that?
Yeah.